See, we get an idea that, oh, I'm in resistance. I need to magically not feel how I feel. Oh, I'm in resistance. I shouldn't have the thoughts I have. If I could just get rid of these thoughts, if I could just stop feeling this, I wouldn't be resisting. That is the definition of resistance. The definition of resistance is something happens, you don't like it, you have a reaction, you're sad, you're angry, you're scared, you're guilty. Like I've been feeling a lot of guilt and shame. And then that's just normal. That is what is. We get this in our head, as I said in the other video about the power of now. There's a mystical place of the power of now. If we could just stop being a human, stop feeling, stop thinking, we could force ourselves with a crowbar into some magical world where you just always blissed out. Bliss is through the back door. Resistance to what is happening has another name. Suffering. You may have heard that if you run into spiritual circles. It's pretty, even if you don't, it's used a lot, it's said a lot, it's kind of commonplace. I think it used to be a new and magical phrase quite a few years ago, but now, sort of like the power of now, and I've done another video on, is it's kind of used as a weapon. It's kind of used as a way to tell someone, you got to get in the now. You got to stop resisting what's happening. Or to tell yourself, just like loving yourself, which I guess I haven't published that video yet, but or the power of now, like you can't screw life up. You feel like you can. You feel like you can do life wrong. Most of you, if you're watching this video, most likely, I know that I certainly have those feelings and had them at an early age and through most of my life, feeling like I've screwed life up and I'm a loser, or I'm not good enough, and those things carry on over to our psychology practices, our spiritual practices, our religious practices. So the true meaning of resistance to what is happening has another name: suffering. Is that you really can't screw it up. And the resistance, the true meaning of that is allow yourself to resist. Allow yourself to resist. Allow yourself to feel however you feel. You might begin to notice that your shoulders feel less tense, that you can breathe deeper. It's okay to be a human. So if you are afraid that your spouse is gonna leave you, your child's gonna get sick, or in my case, I've had all those. Recently, I've had some fears about financial issues and something I did and I wish I hadn't done it. Now, these are feelings coming up, thoughts and feelings. It doesn't really mean that that's truly what I feel and believe, but it's like someone recently asked me, like, do you have any questions? And I thought, I laughed. I was like, yeah, like it's like a swarm of flies around a dead animal in the woods. It's like, yeah, I got all kinds of questions. I got all kinds of feelings and thoughts, and you shouldn't have done this. You should have done that, or, and as I pointed out, maybe not in any video you've seen, but the person A is someone who decides to do something or takes an action, and then when you do something, when you take an action, or you're now person B. You're no longer that person who wondered what it'd be like. You're the person who knows what it's like. And at some point, when you're person B, you might realize, oh, gosh, I didn't really like the outcome of this. So now you're person C. Now you go, I don't think I want to do that anymore. That was a dumb idea or whatever. And so really, person A will never be person B or person C. And so person C could say, oh man, that was a dumb thing to do. I wish I'd never done it. I should have never done it, but it's not possible because person C is not person A. You can't be person C without being person A and person B. And so it's a silly, silly thing that our minds make up. Our egos are like, want to control everything. Like, don't learn, don't grow, don't evolve, be perfect, whatever that is. And be perfect fluctuates if you notice, but it's be the perfect thing that I want at this moment, that I believe at this moment. And so suffering is, I wish I hadn't done it. I wish this wasn't happening. I wish. And then we get the idea that I know how to alleviate that. I just got to stop wishing things would change. I need to stop feeling like I made a mistake. I need to stop. But if you notice, you just feel how you feel. You just have the thoughts that are attracted to you, that are going around in your mind. And so it's really impossible to, you could stuff it down with forced positive thinking or some kind of practice to try to paint over it or remove it, or you can drink it away, you can video game or entertain it away, you can think about sex or drugs, or you can take psychological medicine that might help control some thoughts, but really you just feel what you feel. And the resistance, the true meaning of that is allow yourself to resist. Allow yourself to resist. Allow yourself to feel however you feel. You might begin to notice that your shoulders feel less tense, that you can breathe deeper. It's okay to be a human. The problem with spiritual practices and some psychology practices and some religious practices, and just most of us want to be above human. We don't want to be feeling what we feel and thinking the thoughts that are in our mind. And practicing a technique and trying to fix it and heal it and change it. It's great if you find some healing. It's great if you have a method that helps you feel better. I'm for anything that helps us feel better. But really the fast track and the most kind and loving thing we can do for ourselves is just go, oh man. So this thing I was talking about with me, like this financial thing, I made a decision based on person A, right? I only knew so much. Seemed like the right thing to do. Talked it over with my wife. Did it. Seemed like it was going pretty good. I'm learning. I'm growing while it's happening. Okay, this is good. It seemed really good up until the very end. The very end, it didn't turn out like I thought. And then there's a whole bunch of delayed things and unexpected things happened that caused a bunch of financial costs I had not anticipated. And being a guy who has a strong upbringing, a strong belief that he needs to be a good husband and a good provider, and I'm all for my wife's ability to, this isn't about male superiority. My wife's a strong, powerful woman. just I happen to be the one earning income now, and she's doing what she's doing, and we both agree to do what we're doing, and all this conditioning coming up, and then how can I do it? How can I do it to? I'm not saying I believe this. I'm talking about thoughts and feelings. These are childhood wounding, childhood beliefs, childhood inadequacies coming up. One thing that they don't tell us about feelings and when we feel bad is in some ways we should rejoice when we feel bad. When I feel bad, I'm releasing stuck emotion and childhood wounding and trauma. In many, many ways, the harder our life is, and I don't wish it to be, but the harder our life is, the more traumas and emotions get released, and the more we realize we can handle life and what's thrown at us, and the more mature and wise we become, the more centered, we kind of get whittled down to like the simple, important things of life. I know when my kids were really sick, I never would wish that on anybody, but I grew enormously. And with this recent financial decision, but see, I can't talk myself out of it. I'm going to keep chatting about this because it seems like I should say I'm done, but I know enough about positive thinking and different techniques that I used to study that I could throw at this, and nothing wrong with it. But mostly what I've been doing is just like breathing and feeling and doing energetic things. Anything energetic gets me out of this. When a thought really attaches, it seems real. And this energy that comes up that I've mentioned in other videos, and this gift that I share and people I know that share, it helps put a little buffer. So it's like, oh yeah, there's some feelings, but I'm able to breathe and feel good. Or if I start to feel, I don't label feelings as good or bad. How's that? So whatever's coming up is a symphony. It's like, instead of saying, well, only the white keys are good on the piano, it's like, oh, black keys, white keys. Life is kind of yummy with all these different flavors. I had something happen one time that I was at an energetic session with a man named Abdi Electricity, and I was standing there with my mouth open. The lights are off, music's playing, most people are laying down with their eyes shut. But I was standing up, my mouth open, and my whole past came like through me, and I could taste it. It was like sad moments were salty, and angry moments were spicy, and really pleasureful moments were sweet, and maybe heart-opening moments were more like your favorite dish or something that's not really sweet or salty or spicy, but just, and man, there was no regrets. There's no regrets for all the dumb things I've done. There's no regrets for all the painful things and abuses that have happened to me, and just like life was just, oh man, what a delicious, delicious thing. And then I went from tasting my life, which was fun, wonderful, and deeply healing to my, I think on a much deeper level, my inner me, my subconscious mind or something like that was like accepted even more, like, this is just a sensory experience. Life on earth is a sensory experience, life in a body. But then it morphed to the gods. Doesn't matter if you believe in one God or not. This was just kind of a metaphysical experience, mystical experience. It's not have to be real. They don't have to be real. They can be metaphors and allegories. But the gods were up there, like they were cooking these dinners, and whenever they needed like some really spicy food, they'd start a war over here and something over there, and they, and then same kind of thing. The sad things on earth were like the salty food dishes that they needed for this banquet, and I don't know. It maybe sounds silly, but at the time it was heavenly. It was heavenly. So yeah, resistance. See, we get an idea that, oh, I'm in resistance. I need to magically not feel how I feel. Oh, I'm in resistance. I shouldn't have the thoughts I have. If I could just get rid of these thoughts, if I could just stop feeling this, I wouldn't be resisting. That is the definition of resistance. The definition of resistance is something happens. You don't like it. You have a reaction. You're sad. You're angry. You're scared. You're guilty. Like I've been feeling a lot of guilt and shame. And then that's just normal. That is what is. We get this in our head, as I said in the other video about the power of now. There's a mystical place of the power of now. If we could just stop being a human, stop feeling, stop thinking, we could force ourselves with a crowbar into some magical world where you just always blissed out. Bliss is through the back door. Have you ever had a situation in your life that was so horrible that your mind ran out of ideas and you just began to accept it? I've heard of this with people with like terminal illness or an accident where they're disfigured or missing a leg or crippled. I mean, all of us, most of us fight it, but at some point in these stories, people just accept how it is, and then everything shifts. But if you've had an accident, or if you get I keep saying mentally ill. I think we could all say we're all mentally ill to some degree, but get terminally ill or some major disease, to not resist it does not mean to not be upset. It doesn't mean to not have thoughts and feelings or have thoughts that cycle. It just means, yeah, this is what's going on. You can be angry, you can be sad, you can be scared, you can be anything you feel. The thoughts that go through your mind, you are not responsible for those thoughts. People are making billions of dollars trying to teach people how to program their thoughts and how to fix and heal and change their thoughts. And you might have some luck here and there with a technique, modality, a healing process. I'm not saying don't try, but my life changed when I stopped trying to fix and heal and change everything. Now I still do from time to time. This financial decision, it's had some in my mind, it's had some long-term consequences, which my mind doesn't really know. My mind actually doesn't know the future. In case you didn't know, your mind doesn't know the future either. There's no way to know if something's good or bad. So I made a decision, things happen. I say I made a decision. That's another video. A decision occurred, things happened. And my mind, as long as it thinks it's getting what it wanted, is like, this is good, this is good. Didn't get what it wanted, this is bad. Never should have done that. Like the mind just wants to control. How can I get what I want? And fortunately or unfortunately, our minds will not get what they want. if you're a billionaire, if you figured out how to, get some material things, I mean, you could lose it. I don't know what's going to happen in the future, but maybe you get the idea that you can make things happen, but, just get married and have some kids. Just have parents. Just watch the news. Don't watch the news, but people just don't act how we want them to. Things just don't happen how we want them to. Our mind, our egos want them to. The world is a wild, mysterious place, and it seems very chaotic to our minds. And our mind says, like, oh, you made a good decision. Oh, you made a bad decision. Oh, this means something bad is happening. Something bad is going to happen. There's no way to know. I told my wife several times, we've had some major things happen over finances over the years, and there was one thing with some crazy medical bills, outrageous. I made the comment, I'm like, if we were going to have $10 million in 6 months, in a year, would we be so upset right now about these bills? And both were like, no. And we didn't get $10 million. We didn't even try to get $10 million. That would be great if we had it. The idea was like, our mind, I mean, we don't know what's going to happen next. I could walk down the street, somebody could give me money. I could invent something new, and no one knows the future. All right, well, I hope you enjoyed this talk. Just remember, it's okay to be a human. It's okay to feel what you feel. It's okay to think what you think. It's okay to want something. It's okay to not want something. It's okay to be in resistance to what is. If you're in resistance to what is, who cares? That's what it is. That's normal. See, it's backdoor. Well, if I could just stop all this, smash it down, stop it, then I'll feel better. I won't be in resistance. Just be okay with resistance. Just be okay with what you're doing, what you're feeling, Life is a short journey. It's a sensory journey, and our minds are scared. We got traumatized as children, and so it's scared. It wants to be in control. It wants to try to keep us from harm and keep us safe, and it believes we're unlovable and we're not good enough, and no matter how much financial success you have or don't have, or fame or fortune or love, it's just convinced that you're not good enough. I'm not good enough. But it's a short ride. This life is a short ride. Who cares? That's fine. This idea that we need to this is what sells. Everything in the world, almost everything in the world is sold by the fact that they help us encourage our minds to form an image of we gotta travel a lot. We gotta wear nice clothes. We gotta have a six-pack. We gotta have money. We have to speak several languages. We have to, we can't just sit down and relax. We're not good enough. No, you gotta improve yourself. People say live your best life and make the most of yourself. Like, you're not good already. Your life is not good just sitting around. I don't mean don't go to work. If you need to work. I do. I just mean there's beauty in the struggle of everything. The day we all stop spending so much money and stop feeling so guilty and shameful and afraid that we don't measure up, and hyperactivity, is the day we all just go, Yeah, all these commercials and movies and the people around me all got me thinking I'm not good enough and I got to do more and I got to do more and I got to be more and I got to make something of myself. How can you make something of yourself? No matter how in shape you are, no matter how cool you look or people think you are or what you own, or you're just a human being just like everybody else. And you're just as valuable, just as valuable. And the important things in life are the birds and the bees and hugs and I personally wish life wasn't so hard. I don't want there to be poverty and sickness and injustice but it's a short life. It's an experience. Breathe deep. It is what it is. You are what you are. Be what you are. Be what you be. All right. Talk to you again soon. Bye.